The back lever Manna front split for February is the isometric version. With all the training now, I'm just encouraging people that if they're doing a version for 1 month and they feel like they can do another month of progressing it, or even another 2 weeks or whatever, stay with that version before you change it. If you're doing well and you're progressing and feeling good with it, there's no reason to change it. But I just offer these variations each month to keep it interesting, and then also so it just develops you as a coach as well, so you can coach other people and know, okay, without just doing a straight kind of linear progression on the same style of one, you can change the version slightly so that way it keeps it mentally stimulating and physically stimulating, and helps your overall development as a coach and helps people be more well-rounded in yourself. But this month it's isometric, so there's 3 different ring positions that you can work on. The most practical for most people is the turnout, because you get that stretch as well. And then the isometrics, just holding that static position, so you might just do it with the toes there and hold it there. We get that position, get the one knee, second knee, or both knees. You can lower into it. A lot of people find it's easy to get a position because the pull up into it is quite heavy. And then if you're doing a closed tuck one, you're just keeping the thighs against the chest. As you open out, it's really important to film yourself with this, because what you think is straight, most of the time isn't going to be straight. Especially as you start to do the open tuck position. You'll see in the video that I'm showing now, I'm lowering down into it, so I'm that's my last month version, the eccentric one. I'm just going to keep that going, but kind of combine them, so that way I can keep working on it. I found it's been okay, so keep going with it. Then for the Manna, it's just an L sit. Now if you've got parallettes, works great. If you're strong enough to get an L on the floor, which is very hard, or a V, because V is actually a little bit easier on the floor because you can lean back a little bit, press, like that, pretty heavy on the wrist. The L, what makes it really hard is trying to get hips forward. Now if you've only got the rings, you might just do a support position, or a half, like a tuck version. These are very hard, so you may just try and work on your hold here. Try and get as high as you can, and then here, and then working on. That's very hard to get a good amount of time under tension on that. So work the version that you can at least get like a 5 second, if not 10-second hold. Don't progress it till you can get like a 15-second hold, but really try and get that. In the rings, it's very hard to lean back. You won't see many people do that. On the floor, it's a bit easier to lean back. Because on the rings, you'll just keep falling because you've got that wide base of support on the hands, and the parallettes, you've got that grip as well. So working on that, then the isometric front split, you might want to use the rings to hold, just to spot yourself into a good position, and then try and get at least a 15-second hold. At that end range, you want to get, the whole point with the loaded stretching is to get strong in an end range of motion position. So you can see in the video, I'm just lowering down with the slider, holding it for a little bit, but I'm just going to keep that eccentric version going for this month as well, just so I can develop it. But most strength training programs, they'll use a kind of 6 to 8 week kind of training protocol, so kind of 2 months, and then in that 2 months, from the variations that I've read, you'll see a deloading week. So it is important to do that every 2 months, just have a week. You're not stopping your training, but you're just going easy and going at kind of 60%, just to give all the tissues a chance to really adapt. But what I've been really pushing with a lot of people in the classes is just have a spreadsheet, and I'll send you out my one that I started this year. Like, I haven't done this for a long time. I used to really progress it, and now in the last, I haven't progressed my training a lot because I haven't really been paying attention to the small progressions, plus I've had the neck thing that kind of just hasn't stopped me from training altogether, but it's stopped me from pushing myself a bit harder. And what's actually happened over the last 5 years, I've just gradually gotten weaker. Still maintain a decent amount of strength, I still feel good, whatever, but that hasn't allowed me to push that hard. And it's also, by not tracking it and recording it, I haven't been able to focus on getting small improvements. So for example, if you're doing an isometric hold, and you're getting 5 seconds on the back lever in a particular version, 5 seconds on the Manna in a particular version, 10 seconds each side on the split at that particular angle, and it's good to have a measurable on there. Then you might, if you can get a little bit more the next week, so you're getting 7 seconds for 3 sets, or you're only on a couple of sets getting a couple more seconds, that all adds up. And then once you're getting 10-second sets, so if you look at 5 seconds over 3 sets that you record, that's 15 seconds, and you have your warm-up set, you might even do more. So it is really important to kind of record that. The videoing is a really easy way to record time under tension, because when you push pause on your phone, for example, you can scroll through and see the exact point that you started and finished, and you've got a timeline there. And then just keeping a spreadsheet with that data there, so next week you know, okay, am I actually improving? And you don't have to improve by much. So you might improve by doing a slightly harder version with less time under tension, or maintain that version and do slightly more time under tension when it's isometric. If it's the main training programs, it's an extra rep or whatever, and if you can't get an extra rep with main, dynamic movement, you might just do the same amount of reps, but on the last rep, lower the rep really slowly in the eccentric phase, and that's giving you a bit more time under tension and helping you develop that next rep that you can't quite get. So there's always a way to go through and make things harder. The other things you can do is, if you find that you're hitting a plateau and you can't really progress, instead of doing a 2-minute round, do a 2.5-minute round, so you're getting a bit more rest, or do a 3-minute round even, or even up to 4-minute rounds. If you've got the time, and that way you're going to get that next set performance to help break through those plateaus. And then in a way, equally to make it harder, is have less rest period. So you might not actually do any more than what you did the week before, but you have a shorter rest period in between each round, so your round time's shorter, and that way you're going to develop more. So get into it, focus, get a video into me of the back lever Manna front split workout, and we can have a look at it and work out where the restrictions are, or what you need to focus on, or what's a better progression for you to work on so that you can actually develop, or what you're struggling with. That's what I'm here to do and to help you with. So yeah, keep sharing and keep connecting. That's how things change.